Hi, welcome back to Velo News TV. We're here at the finish line of Stage 13, the time trial in Al B. We're right outside the Predictor Lotto car. Chris Horner's sitting in the driver's seat watching Cadel Evans out on course. We're going to just get a little bit of his feedback and commentary. How's he looking out there so far?
Yeah, so far he's through the descent anyway, so there's all the most dangerous sections he's already through. It'd be pretty hard to crash now unless you get really unlucky. The descent, though, has a really slippery section, so it was good to see that he's through there. Two sections, one real hard to the right that was slippery, and another one when you come out of the tunnel to the left that was also, you had to be real careful on, where Cancellara crashed at. Now, though, believe it or not, on the uphill there's actually a couple turns where you have to be a little careful too, because I know I was doing about 30k an hour up it, so I'm sure these guys are probably doing about 32, 35k an hour up, so they're going to have to be a little careful on a couple of the corners uphill, but in general you'd have to really mess up in order to crash that way. But it can be done. Yeah, I was actually breaking in one.
Wow. How's Cadel? I'm just walking up.
Looks like Cadel's 57 seconds back on Vino. So he's running a good time because he's got a good 5-minute lead on Vino right now on GC.
What do you have to say about Vinokurov's time? That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's what he does, isn't it? He does pretty incredible stuff. That's why everyone was so worried. I mean, even when he was injured and stuff like that, it was time to take advantage of it, because you knew later, unless he's 10 minutes down on GC, anything less than 10 is a threat with a guy like Vino.
There's a great quote from Mark Beaver, the Astana team manager. He said, what did he say? He said, Vinokurov is like a wounded tiger. He's even more dangerous now.
Yeah, especially when his team's getting a free ride the whole time too. But luckily, the couple times he was wounded enough to where they using a lot of their guys just to bring just the tempo him back up on the climbs. But it looks like it could end up paying off if he can pull out a really good ride here and then something in the mountains, and then he still has another time trial left.
Tell us about your ride. I mean, obviously you're in incredible form right now. This has got to be the best Tour de France that you've done, but riding for Cadel in the next few days, you're sort of conserving as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Today, I mean, you got to ride hard just to be careful about the time split, especially because the leaders, Wiggins, went in the dry too, so you're automatically giving up a minute or two right there on him. So you got to make sure you ride hard, but the low side of hard, not the high side of hard, because you want to be good still for tomorrow.
Were there any moments out there on the course where you were worried about your own safety?
No, except for when the tire slipped on me in the one corner on the right on the descent. That was about it. And I'm more there, I was worried about Cadel coming through there fast. So automatically, as soon as I went through that corner, the car's following behind me, and I'm pointing to that corner to let him know that that corner is exceptionally dangerous, and it's more dangerous than it looks even. Yeah. All the other corners are like, those are dangerous. I took them at the right speed, this one, that one. And then in the right, I thought, oh, I took that one really slow, but I still went into it fast because the tires were still slipping. So I just wanted to make sure that the director behind me knew that.
Tell me a little bit about the fact that you've got this time trial effort today, and then 2 days in the mountains immediately following. I mean, are guys going to be able to race all out the next 2 days after an effort like this?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're going to race all out because, I mean, the next 3 stages are going to be what decides the Tour, really. I mean, even the time trial today is going to mix things up maybe a little bit here or there, but really the next 3 mountain stages are going to decide the Tour, and then the last time trial maybe will be a last chance for Vino or something to come back and get back in the game if he is riding that step better, which it looks like he might be. Yeah. But everyth's going to be given on these next 3 stages. Evans just went through his second best time at the top of the hill.
Only Vinokurov's ahead.
Yep.
So he beat Cassius King's time.
Yep.
Chris is explaining to me the pronunciation. Can you explain that again? The pronunciation of Cassius.
No one can hold that against me.
The second time?
Is it stressful for you to watch Cadel out on the road?
I'd say I'd probably be more relaxed if I was laying on the bed not watching it, but but who wants to do that?
It's got to be a little bit exciting too, having just come off the course, and I mean, obviously you know it, intimately.
Absolutely. I mean, you just coming off the course, you know where he's coming through and what kind of pain and suffering he's got to go through to still get to the finish. And so for that, it's really exciting. And a time trial like this in the rain, definitely for the spectators, makes the race so much better, because at any moment anything can happen. When you go through a roundabout, you go down, you crash, it's over. You break a leg, you break an arm or something, your race is done. Just because, I mean, even if you just have a small crash, it could be something that you break and you just don't know if the guy's going to get up afterwards. So for a rider, for a spectator, it's all the same when you're watching it on the TVs. You just know that anything can happen. And on TV, it always looks a lot more dangerous than it actually is when you're on your bike.
Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. On your bike, you're like, oh, I still had a couple more inches to the side of the road, but on TV, you're like, he's gonna go down.
Well, hey, you know, speaking of crashes, we had a reader question that I thought was pretty interesting. Somebody was asking about team clothing, and they wanted to know how many jerseys you get, how many shorts you get, and if you get a whole fresh new set for the tour, or how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. They normally give us a fresh set, which they did every time I've done the tour. You always gotten a fresh set, at least 3 to 5 pairs for the tour, so everything looks nice and clean. And usually with the pro teams, you have 15, 20 sets of shorts and jerseys when you're starting the year. And actually, I actually buy an extra 30 for the tour, just so I can have one for every stage that I sign and give off to my friends and family and sponsors and all that stuff. So I keep a jersey from every stage of the tour, and so I went through the year 50 jerseys or 70 jerseys or something like that. So you go through quite a bit.
And what do you do when the season's up? I mean, you've got all these you know, it changes every year, so you've got all these leftovers. What do you do with them?
Well, I don't have too many leftovers, really. By the end of the year, from the tour, like I said, I have probably 30, but all those I give out, so they're all gone. The other 20, you go through 10 of them that are wrecked, that you just give away just from wear and tear, and another 2 or 3 that you crashed in that are gone. At the end of the year, you have 10 left, and probably you have 5 that are brand new and 5 that you've been wearing or something. That's probably what you got left.
And do you have a full team kit from like Mercury days, Saturn days?
Not anymore. I mean, probably 1 jersey from each kit. There was a period in time where it was just enormous how much clothing I had left, and it was just time to get rid of it. Yeah. But it costed me more in storage than it was worth. So, but you keep a jersey, of course, from each one, and certain years are more specialty than others, of course. But of course, one from each of the Champs-Élysées that I finished from the tour I've kept, and one from finishing in Madrid from the Vuelta that I've kept, and stage wins at Tour of Swiss, Tour of Romandy that I've either kept or given away to family members, and race leader jerseys that I've kept throughout the year. Of course, Redlands jerseys have always been special to me, so I've always kept those. But yeah, you still have large Tupperware of clothing.
You know, I meant to ask you the other day, that stage ended in Montpellier, and that's where 2 years ago you were at the front of the field with Chavanel.
Yeah.
You guys,
well, the going joke on the team was this is the stage that Robbie won. Oh, the stage that Robbie won. The stage that Robbie won. Well, Robbie was on the front for that stage for that long. I was on the front for 180K or something.
Well, it's also the stage where Freddie brought Robbie to the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Freddie brought him to the line, but for me, it was still a good stage. I'd never trade it for the win, of course, but it was still, if you couldn't have the win, that was probably the second best thing you could have done in the stage, because it brought a lot of publicity. Not as much as having the win, of course, would have been, because that would have been more special. But I thought it was funny every day coming up to the Montpellier stage, because just everyone with Robbie. Oh, this is the stage Robbie won. This is this stage where we just barely brought the brake back and Robbie won. You know? No, when I'm on the team now, this is the stage that I stayed off and just barely got caught.
Has anybody had a chance to talk to Robbie at all? Is there any kind of communication, phone, email through with the team?
Oh, I'm sure the team talks to him daily and stuff. I haven't talked to him since he left the tour, of course, but yeah, Robbie being Robbie, he's gonna come back and just win some more races somewhere else. He's the best sprinter in the world, hands down. I think he's the best pure sprinter. There's no doubt about it. I mean, the other guys are strong and they win because the races are so hard, and the run to the line is strong, and it takes a strong man and a fast man. But Robbie's definitely the fastest. I mean, when he accelerates, he opens up gaps. When other guys accelerate, they can still stay on the wheel, they just can't come by him. When Robbie actually accelerates, there's a gap behind him. It's incredible the way he sprints. So here's Levi finishing right now.
What's his time?
Well, it looks like 109.13, fifth spot. So he's got a respectable time, no doubt about that.